Good morning. It is a beautiful day outside. Or at least I think it's a beautiful day outside. I'm currently at home listening to the birds sing, hearing the buzzing of the bees and the cicadas. I'm watching my cats take a nap next to me. It's a great day. See, last night I had a story planned out for y'all. I was gonna follow along to what the adults were learning today. But I had woken up this morning and I saw that it had rained. I was like, I have a different idea. I have a different story I want to tell. I'm going to tell you about my plant. I got a really cool plant the other day. And it's this plant. It's called a nerve plant. And it's got these really cool patterns on the leaves. If you look really closely underneath the stems, it's really fuzzy. It's really soft. I have a lot of plants. Some of them survive and some of them don't. But that's okay. Sometimes I kind of like to think that us as people are very similar to plants. We kind of need the same things in life to grow, to get healthier, to survive. And even though thinking of ourselves as plants, it might be a little weird, it's okay. Sometimes it makes sense. But today I'm going to talk to you about how to be a happy, healthy little plant. So, I've had this plant for about a week now. And he's been in this little black pot the entire time. I've watered him maybe once. It's not the best thing to do, but he's still here. But it's not the best situation for this plant to be. He's not happy in this little pot. So I'm going to give him a new home. And I would like you to be here with me to do that. So I went out and I got this little pot. It's a nice, strong, and safe place for him to live in. And it's kind of like our homes, or our schools, or our church. It's a nice little safe space. And it's kind of cool too. You can paint them. You can draw on them. But yeah. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add some rocks. They're kind of cool rocks, but they're rocks. Now the purpose of these rocks is to allow for some water to drain through. It helps keep the plant hydrated and helps keep the plant from having too much water. But when it comes to people, I kind of like to think these rocks as positive actions. Things we can do to help around the house, help our neighbors, help our family and friends. Are there any things kind of like that you can think of? So let's say, for example, you're at home. What can you do at home to help out your family? Can you clean up your room? Yeah. Can you take out the trash? Yeah, that's a good one. What else can you do? Can you do your homework? And maybe help clean up after dinner? I think those are good ones. I sometimes help out my mom with cooking food. And then I help out some of my friends with their homework. That's some nice things to do. Now I got a couple more rocks. I want you, while you're at home, to tell me some of the things that you could do. You can yell at me, you can talk to me, say them right now, or say them in your head. Whoops. Well, that's okay. What are some good things you can do at home to help out? And you can say them as I'm putting the rest of these rocks in the pot, okay? And while you might not be able to see it, we have rocks set in with our safe space, our little home. So we have, in our safe space, we have our positive deeds, our good things. Like our plant here. While we have safe spaces like home and school, we can do more to make it positive, to make it happier. And sometimes those good deeds, the small little things like doing chores, doing your homework, they help out a lot. It may not seem like it sometimes, but they really do. So next on the list is adding in some sand. Now, this sand, it's not the best sand, but it works. I got a handful of sand here. It's nice and soft and smooth. It has a few leaves in it, but that's okay. I'm going to add this on top of the rocks. What do you think the sand will do? Do you think it will go in around the rocks and fill in all the big empty spaces? Yeah? Or do you think it will just sit on top of the rocks, not do anything, just sit there? Yeah. Well, I'm about to show you what it's going to do. See the sand? It filled in around all the rocks. And it's real good. It's good. I kind of like to think the sand as happy thoughts. So we had our happy actions, our positive deeds, and these are happy thoughts. So kind things you can say to yourself or to other people. Fills in the gaps. What are some kind things you can say to yourself? I like to tell myself that I'm doing a good job. That even though my grades aren't the best in school, they're still pretty good for the situation I'm in. Having to do online school at home. And I think you're doing a pretty good job too. It's not the ideal situation, but it's pretty good. Similar to how the sand isn't like perfectly ideal. It's not super clean and free of leaves, but it's still good. It does its job, and it's happy. What are some things you can tell other people, though? Can you tell someone that their outfit looks nice? That they look pretty or handsome today? Or that their smile's really nice? Or that they make you happy? It's the nice little things that can fill in the gaps and make people, it can make people's days. It can make them better, make them smile, make them feel good about themselves. That's the good things. So next, on top of that, I'm going to add in some dirt. It's kind of wet already. That's okay. So this dirt, I kind of like to think represents our friends and family. They're not dirty. They're not dirty. Just saying. They're not dirty. I just think it represents family. It's a nice little place to keep us happy. Because I know this nerve plant, it really likes the dirt that I got. It keeps it fed, has a lot of nutrients, keeps it happy and healthy, kind of like our friends and our family. Our parents feed us. Sometimes our friends do too. Sometimes we share food. Our friends make us happy when we get to play, even though it's probably been a while since you played with friends. Or you get to play with them in different ways. And that's okay. But our family makes us happy because they love us, because we can have fun with them, we can enjoy their time together. We have a lot of stories to tell. Definitely our grandparents, they definitely have a lot of stories to tell us. That's one of my favorite parts. Whenever we go to family gatherings, listening to my grandma's stories about life, getting to hear how my aunts and uncles grew up, or how my mom and dad grew up too. I always like to hear those stories. Well, the dirt kind of represents our friends and family. On top of the positive deeds and words of affirmation, happy thoughts, happy deeds, we have our friends and family. They're here to help us grow. Help us learn how to be people, or in this case, how to be plants. And so for the final step, after I add in a little bit more dirt, you can never go wrong with too much dirt. That's fine. I think it's time to put our plant in its new safe space. And you can see it's definitely time for the plant to have a new safe space. All the little, what are they called? Little roots. How they're all bunched up together. This plant wasn't very happy. And sometimes that can happen to us too. If we're not in a situation we like, we can get stressed and all of our roots like to bundle up. They get all bunched up and it doesn't look too happy. And sometimes we don't get too happy. And that's why we need our safe spaces. Our little homes, our pots, our schools, our churches even. Have a good foundation of positive thoughts, positive actions. Because even while sometimes you may not want to do a positive action, you may not want to clean your room, or you may not want to do your chores, there's a chain reaction that goes along with it. Whenever you clean your room, it may help out your mom or dad. Then when they get helped out, they'll help out you later. And it creates a better world for us. And it's the little things that does it. So I think it's time we put this plant in its new home. I'm going to break up its old, upset and stressed out soil. And you can see all of its roots finally starting to relax. It's finally getting to breathe a little bit better. You can see the plant looks a little bit better too, doesn't it? You can see more of it. That's kind of like us when we start doing more good deeds, start being nicer to others, and definitely nicer to ourselves. So let's see. Now it's time to put into our new home. Sometimes just putting ourselves into a new home isn't quite enough. So we may need to reach out to our friends and family a little bit more. So I'm going to add in some more dirt. And they're here to help support us and guide us, especially when we have questions about life. I know I go to other people when I have questions. I ask my sister a lot of things, and I ask my mom a lot of questions, and my dad too. If you have questions about life, feel free to ask them. And it's okay to. Because in the end, as you grow and get older, you can do the same. You can return the favor. You can grow into be a happy little plant. Now, things aren't always what we want it to be. I would rather be doing this with you in person, so you can have your own plant to take home, so you can tell the stories to your friends and family. That's okay. We still learned about how to be happy little plants today. We set up a nice new home, a little safe space, so our homes, our schools, our churches, we learned about a few things that we can do to help out around the house, or with our neighbors, or even to help out our friends and family. Some good deeds, some positive actions. We also learned how to be nicer to ourselves, because that's a really good thing to do. And we also learned that our friends and family are there to support us, to make us happy, to help us grow, and to nurture us like the soil of this plant. I still like to think of us as little plants. Now, I want to pray with you before I leave today, if that's okay. Can you bow your head with me? Okay. Dear God, thank you for this day and for hearing us when we pray. Thank you for this beautiful weather that we're having. Whether it's sunshiny or rainy, it's still a great day. Thank you for our friends and family, for a good foundation. Thank you for teaching us how to be good people. Thank you for the little plants. And thank you for everything else in the world. While things aren't quite what we want it to be, it's still a good day. It's still a good day. Thank you for everyone watching this and for everyone who's listening in. I hope you can keep them safe and keep them happy and healthy and help them grow into be healthy little plants. In your name, amen.